VASIANTV presents.
Asia. It is ancient, it is new, it is old, it is young, it is spirited, it is wise, it is calm, it is patient, it is submissive, it is thoughtful, it is thoughtless, it is holy, it is faithful, it is mysterious and strange. In Asia, we believe that truth is not this or that, but both. That opposites must coexist or annihilate each other. That what happens before is linked to what happens after. That the promise of the future is in the wisdom of the past. And that all things come around. This is Asia.
Malaysians consider it the birthplace of their nation. For it was here that the hodgepodge of races that now constitute multicultural Malaysia first came together by force of ancient South and North Asian maritime economies and European colonial expansionism. Melaka, known to the world as Malacca, the name by which it is called in most history books and maps authored by Western minds. In Bahasa Melayu, the language of Malaysia's dominant Malay population, Malacca is Melaka, the name of this tree that grows endemically in this region by the waters of the Straits of Malacca. Legend has it that it was under such a tree that a Sumatran prince by the name of Parameswara rested with his followers after a long flight from persecution in his native land across the sea. While sleeping under the tree, Parameswara is said to have dreamt a dream that inspired him to choose the spot as a site in which to rebuild his kingdom. He would name the spot and the settlement that would rise on it Melaka, in honor of the tree that had first provided him shelter in exile. Melaka is located along an ancient maritime trading route through which sailed merchant ships from China, India, and Arabia. In no time, Malacca would become a regular port of call for these ships, many passengers of which would decide to disembark and settle for good. These migrants included Arabs, whose Islamic faith would soon be adopted by the indigenous Malay and Orang Asli or Aboriginal peoples, collectively called Bumiputera or Sons of the Soil. The latter had formerly subscribed to the Hindu faith brought over by Parameswara, who was presumably of a royal line, affiliated with India's Srivijaya and Majapahit empires, and by Indian traders who had already been coming to Malacca for 2,000 years before any European had set foot on these shores. Presumably remnants of those ancient Indian empires and descendants of those early Indian traders constitute the third racial group that Europeans found residing in Malacca by the time of their arrival in the 14th century. These are the Chittis, a unique community found only in Malacca, who continue to practice a form of 15th century Hinduism. Then there were the Chinese, who came looking for the fabled gold and silver of Nanyang, the South Seas. Many were Cantonese from the Chinese South who intermarried with Malay women to produce the Peranakan, Straits-born Chinese who would later constitute a major segment of the local business elite. Peranakan is Malay for born here. The Chinese-Malay intermarriages produce the unique Baba Nyonya culture, a fusion of Chinese and Malay religious and customary practices. Men of the Peranakan lineage are called babas, while the Malay women that they intermarried with are called nyonyas. A diminishing breed, majority of Malaysia's Baba Nyonya community can be found living in Malacca. Europeans arrived in Malacca in 1511, the year the port town fell to Portuguese colonizers. In 1641, the Dutch dislodged the Portuguese after a fierce battle. In 1797, the Dutch relinquished control of Malacca to the British to prevent it from falling into the hands of the French, who had annexed the Netherlands during the French Revolution. Malacca was returned to the Dutch in 1818 under the Treaty of Vienna, but the British got it again in exchange for Ben-Kaleen, Sumatra. From 1826 onward, Malacca, together with the islands of Penang and Singapore, was ruled by the British East India Company, based in Calcutta, under the Straits Settlement Administration. British rule would last till 1956, when Malay nationalists declared independence at Padang Palawan, or Warriors Field, at Bandar Hilir, Malacca.
Switch to DirecTV today and get a free upgrade to the all-new Genie, our most advanced HD DVR ever. Genie serves your entire home with just one receiver, allows you to record any 5 shows at once, and gives you up to 3 times more HD recording capacity than cable. Order now and lock in your savings for 2 years. Other packages start at just $29.99 a month. So get all your TV wishes granted. Switch to DirecTV and get your free upgrade to Genie today.
Vestiges of the European presence remain in Malacca in the guise of the city's community of Eurasians. There are Portuguese Eurasians and Dutch Eurasians living in areas like Padre Sachang or Priest's Land in Malacca's Ujong Pasir district. But the Eurasians of Malacca, who are recognizable by the fair or swarthy physical features of their forebears and by such surnames as De Silva, Pereira, Westerhout, or Van Huysen, are a vanishing breed as they continue to be assimilated into Malacca's dominant Malay population. More lasting evidence of European presence in Malacca are the structures left over from colonial rule. A concentration of these structures can be found at Malacca's Red Square, so called because of the red color of the old buildings in the area. These include the Stadhuis, built in 1650 to serve as the official residence of Malacca's Dutch governors and their officers. Standing beside the Stadhuis is Christ Church, built in 1753 to replace St. Paul's Church of the Catholic Portuguese, who originally named it Our Lady of the Hill. The Protestant Dutch found no use for St. Paul's Church except as a burial ground for their noble dead. The original tombstones for these dead can still be seen inside the ruins of St. Paul's Church, in front of which stands a statue of St. Francis Xavier. The statue is in honor of the Catholic missionary priest, whose remains were temporarily interred in an open grave here in 1553, before they were shipped to their final resting place in Goa, India. St. Paul's Hill, on top of which St. Paul's Church stands, is so situated as to afford a strategic view of Malacca and its river entrance from the open sea of the Straits of Malacca. From the hill, one can spy the hulk and masts of this replica of a European merchant ship, which brought goods from all over the colonial world to Malacca. The ship sits in an area of the Malacca River, where such goods were unloaded and warehoused. It was presumably this strategic value of St. Paul's Hill that Malacca's colonial rulers, starting with the Portuguese, used it as a site for their fortification. The Hill and St. Paul's Church used to be part of a walled fortress called A Famosa that the Portuguese built in 1551. Only the gate of this fortress remains after the British destroyed it to prevent its use by their colonial rivals. Next to the Stadhuis, this gate called A Famosa, located on the northern foot of St. Paul's Hill, is the most photographed of Malacca's colonial icons. Beside A Famosa, on the northern side of St. Paul's Hill, stands the Malacca Sultanate Palace, the only traditional Malay palace built on specification of the ancient Sejarah Melayu, or the Malay Annals. Just beyond A Famosa Gate and facing Padang Pahlawan, the Warriors Field, stands the Malacca Clubhouse, done in the pastel color and style of English colonial architecture. This is where Tunku Abdul Rahman Putra Al-Haj, Malaysia's first Prime Minister, formally declared Malaysian independence from British rule on February 20, 1956. The building is now the Proclamation of Independence Memorial. Back to the Red Square, which is on the southern foot of St. Paul's Hill, other vestiges of colonial rule that can be found here include this tower clock. And these commemorative water fountain and markers, dating back to the reign of England's Queen Victoria and the days of the East India Company.
Switch to DirecTV today and get a free upgrade to the all-new Genie, our most advanced HD DVR ever. Genie serves your entire home with just one receiver, allows you to record any 5 shows at once, and gives you up to 3 times more HD recording capacity than cable. Order now and lock in your savings for 2 years. Other packages start at just $29.99 a month. So get all your TV wishes granted. Switch to DirecTV and get your free upgrade to Genie today.
Beyond Red Square, a tour of Malacca would uncover other relics of its past and vestiges of other cultures, mostly Asian, that the waters of the South China Sea had brought to these shores. Much of these historic relics and cultural vestiges can be found in Malacca's Old Quarter, distinguishable by antique roofs that can be seen from atop St. Paul's Hill. At ground level, there are streets in the Old Quarter named Hiran, Yonker, and Harmony that contain attractions representative of the different facets of Malacca and Malaysia's multiracial culture. On Hiran Street are concentrated the antique homes of the Peranakan elite. Distinguishable by facades, roofs, and window eaves adorned with ornate colored carvings of figures from Chinese Taoist mythology. Most of these Peranakan homes have seen better days, judging from the drab and peeling paint on the facades and carvings. The most preserved is a privately owned Baba Nyonya Heritage Museum, owned by the Chang family, which still uses it for their reunions. A tour of this museum, which is actually 3 houses in one, will reward one with a very intimate look at the daily life of a Peranakan family from the late 19th to the late 20th century. Antique stores, dining places, and community halls, meanwhile, line Yonker Street, which is transformed once a week into an entertainment promenade come night market, where one can sample Malaccan street food, or buy trinkets and other bric-a-bracs that constitutes Malacca and Malaysia's traditional and modern cultural melange. Watering holes also dot Yonker Street. But the multicultural essence of Malaccan and Malaysian life can best be found on Harmony Street, so called because it is on this single street where one can find the structures and monuments of all the faiths that constitute this country's spiritual belief system. On Harmony Street, there is a mosque to cater to Malacca's majority Malay Muslims, a Catholic church for its Christians, a Hindu temple for its Indians and Chittis, and a temple for its Taoist Chinese residents. Wars continue to be fought throughout the world in the name of all these religions. On Harmony Street, and throughout Malacca and Malaysia for that matter, it can be argued that one world can really be enough for all of us.
I'm born and bred here, and I'm the first generation born Chinese because my father came from southern China. As we were growing up here, Malacca City mainly has more Chinese, but in school when we had friends, we had Malay friends, we have Indian friends, and we could communicate easily.
Malaysians are usually very friendly to everyone. Never choose a religion as a make a friendship.
I think that's the main thing. When you respect to each other, that's how you can stay in harmony. When the rivers meet, yeah, okay, that's the stream from so many places, and then they give way to each other. Then they always end up at the sea and mix together.
Switch to DirecTV today and get a free upgrade to the all-new Genie, our most advanced HD DVR ever. Genie serves your entire home with just one receiver, allows you to record any 5 shows at once, and gives you up to 3 times more HD recording capacity than cable. Order now and lock in your savings for 2 years. Other packages start at just $29.99 a month. So get all your TV wishes granted. Switch to DirecTV and get your free upgrade to Genie today.
Asia. It is ancient, it is new, it is old, it is young, it is spirited, it is wise, it is calm, it is patient, it is submissive, it is thoughtful, it is thoughtless, it is holy, it is faithful, it is mysterious and strange. In Asia, we believe that truth is not this or that, but both. That opposites must coexist or annihilate each other. That what happens before is linked to what happens after. That the promise of the future is in the wisdom of the past. And that all things come around. This is Asia.
There is nothing like a quick getaway from the rigors of everyday living. Moments fleeting and cherished in a world where time is of the essence. And in the sun-drenched isles of the Philippines, sometimes even this quick getaway seems far-fetched for those who live and work in the city. Lucky for city slickers longing for that great escape, havens of comfort and relaxation lie not too far away from the concrete jungle. Like Matabungkay Beach Resort and Hotel in Lian, Batangas. A 2-hour ride from Manila, Matabungkay Beach Resort and Hotel is the classic destination for family fun or short weekenders spent with friends. The trip to Matabungkay itself is a prelude to the treat of pure beach bliss. Meandering down twisting roads that embrace the city of Tagaytay, one can roll down car windows for a whiff of fresh mountain air. And a drive by Tagaytay City isn't complete without the requisite stop for fresh fruit or flowers. And the opportunity to snap pictures by the scenic view of Taal Lake, famed for having a volcano within a bigger volcano. Or one can savor the view over a cup of steaming hot coffee along the cafes that line the roadside. As one drives on, roads get wider and stretch out longer, and trees heavy with fruit point the way to Matabungkay, Batangas. Finally, for most Manileños, a familiar gate beckons, and as it yawns open, happy memories of past summers rush in. The Matabungkay Beach Resort and Hotel has been in existence for more than 25 years. This institution, if it may be called so, figures in almost every Filipino's travel diary, an entry simply referred to as Matabungkay. Children of the 80s who romped around the beach now troop back with their own tots in tow. For most, it is the comfort of the familiar. Like an old friend that welcomes you back in his home, Matabungkay's rooms are refreshingly warm and cozy. The homey, rustic feel abounds in the resort. Hungry after the long ride? Matabungkay's restaurant offers soul food, good old Filipino cooking that never fails to satiate the appetite and please the palate. And it is still the beach that is its biggest attraction. The waters are calm and child-friendly, perhaps the main reason why families are drawn to Matabungkay. A day may be spent splashing in the waters, building sandcastles, or simply relaxing by the shore. Water babies up for more fun can head to the resort's swimming pools for a dip. A children's wading pool is made just for the little ones, while the bigger pool is perfect for those who want to do their laps. In Matabungkay, shed city worries and slip into the playful mode. Recapture the vigor of youth, let go and play! Practice that backhand at the tennis court or engage friends in a game of volleyball, basketball, or a round of billiards. Make like royalty and play king or queen at the giant chessboard laid out on the hotel grounds. Since the main objective of a city getaway is rest and recreation, time spent at Matabungkay is meant not just for play, but for ultimate relaxation. The resort offers spa treatments to soothe the body and soul. If the idea of lying down for a massage while being lulled by the gentle sound of waves lapping the shore sounds good, then a visit to the floating spa is in order. A small dainty hut by the beach is where one can truly enjoy a dry massage or a foot spa. Nothing beats the calming view of the sea while lying back for a pedicure. Those who don't want to venture out too far from their rooms can go to the Salea Spa for a feel-good massage or a revitalizing steam bath. course, while Tucson locks and the sun-kissed look are in while at the beach, still some can't live without the indulgence of a beauty salon. And indeed, the Aqua Salon gets its fair share of clientele waiting to be primped and pampered. When the sun kisses the water's edge and decides to call it a day, the evening breeze blows in, heralding yet another adventure of sorts at Matabungkay. Beachcombers, under the final rays of the disappearing sun, head to the beach at low tide for precious finds, or for the simple thrill of going far from the shore in waters still ankle deep. And when night finally rolls in, the strains of music call for your own personal brand of entertainment. An evening of fun and singing can be spent at The Wave, the resort's blue-themed music lounge. If the short weekend experience leaves one longing for more, one can recreate the summer getaway feeling any time of the year at the Playa del Sol. It is an option for those who would like to spend their days living by the beach or have a home to come to nestled amidst the tall caballero and acacia trees. This forest community by the sea has a viewing deck where one can soak in a splendid array of color. The green of rice fields, the blanket of hues of the nearby village, and the endless stretch of the sea's blue. Revisited fond memories and happy experiences recreated with families. That is what a trip to Matabungkay Beach Resort and Hotel has to offer. A tradition worth experiencing again and again. One that brings with it the smiles of youth and the warmth of memories of yore.
This has been a presentation of VATV.